So this question from Babirhan, Turkey. He says, having read a book about the first Caliph of the promised Messiah, I was moved at how he had worked much of his life on a voluntary basis and survived on his complete dependence on God Almighty. Is this
governments?
God Almighty.
God Almighty, of course.
Is this the life of way recommendable to us all of? And what was the outstanding of qualities of him?
You know, this point is very special to Hazrat Khalifa al-Masih Hazrat Hakeem Nooruddin, and it is something which, once promised by God, continued throughout his life. He must have offered some sacrifice in a manner, in a way, which Allah accepted. And from then on, he was told that we'll take care of you. And that happened so amazingly throughout his life. And the way he trusted the word of Allah is even more amazing. When apparently there is nothing there for him to utilize for his journey or anything, he would stand up and start his journey without a penny. And a special case is in my mind which illustrates the point. Once Hazrat Masih Maud was in Delhi, and he required Hazrat Khalifa al-Masih, he was not Khalifa al-Masih but Hakeem Nooruddin, to come as soon as possible. Now, because he didn't know English, the one who translated from English to Urdu translated in a manner that Hazrat Masih wants him to start the journey forthwith, without the slightest delay. Now, that was a different story altogether. He was giving a lecture to some students. He immediately stood up. He didn't even have time to go for his shoes. People ran after him, gave him his shoes. And he proceeded towards Batala, where he was to take a train for Delhi. Some of his disciples, because then he was not a Khalifa, but some of those who loved him, with his students, his pupils, also ran along with him. He went at a very fast pace towards Batala. And he had no money. How would he buy the ticket? But he knew it is Allah's promise, he will fulfill it. So as he reached the station, there was a Hindu rich banya, very rich person, who was suffering from something. And he had decided to go to Hazrat Khalifa al-Masih for treatment. Now, when he saw him coming, he ran after him and said, I want you to treat me and prescribe something, I'm very ill. Or whether it was his wife or something. Well, it was his wife. And I want you to visit. He said, no question, I'm just leaving for the train, for Delhi in the next train. Now, this is how Allah organizes things. As they reached the station, he had refused the money which was possibly coming to his way out of the fee for prescription and things. But he had full trust. He knew Allah will provide. Then what happened, as they reached the station, the train was late. It was so late that it gave him time to visit Lalaji's family and treat the wife and come back. Still there was some time for the train, and at the parting, Lalaji provided him with a bag full of money. bag full of money, which was sufficient for all his expenses towards Delhi and back. And he could easily, comfortably go to, then he took some money out of it and sent somebody to buy a ticket. So this is what happened with him, and this must have been at some moment a promise by God, which got fulfilled in his case in amazing way. Throughout his life from then on, he did not have to bother about anything. Sometimes people like, for instance, somebody who had lent him some money, he told him to come the next day, and he had no money. So he asked him to sit for a while and he will give him the money. And as they were doing, he was giving lectures on something and he was waiting, somebody came and offered him exactly the same amount of money. Exactly. So he handed it to him and said, look here, this is how Allah takes care of me. So this was a way of his life. Once he said that there is a secret between me and Allah, which even my Mirza Sahib, Hazrat Muslim, doesn't know. You know, that's how Allah especially treats some people, and although in status they are lower, but Allah treats them very specially. You understand? Like the shepherd of Moses, Prophet Moses was much higher in status, the shepherd was just nothing, but the treatment by Allah of that shepherd was so special. Even Moses vied with him. Okay? Right. Your question is answered, huh? There is no more time to go into the detail of the life history of the Khalifa, but these are two illustrations. This is exactly what used to happen to him. Right?